One day, as my son and I walked home in the evening, we came to the home of Daniel, foremost of the king's top 3 most trusted advisors.
Fish, my son, fish. Fish, my son, fish. Vegetables, very fresh. Vegetables, very fresh.
These 3 men represented a great many others under them. Daniel was a kind, elderly man who was different from the proud and haughty members of the royal court. As it happened, it was the time of the evening when Daniel prayed. He prayed faithfully each morning, noon and night, opening his window to face Jerusalem, his home city. My son and I stopped for a moment, and we talked about Daniel's faith. I told my son how the Hebrews, although living in captivity, still worshipped their God and believed that one day he would return them to their homeland.
See how Daniel prays. He prays day and night. Oh, he's very faithful.
Just then, I looked up and saw the other 2 of the king's advisors, Princes Artabazus and Mazaeus, as they walked right by us. They caught sight of Daniel, still kneeling in prayer. They stopped to converse between themselves, and we were in a good position to overhear their words.
I don't like Daniel. Me too. Let's plan something to get rid of him. Good thinking.
After a moment, we emerged from the shadows and began the rest of the walk to our home to join the family at the evening meal. The next morning, we went to the palace for a meeting scheduled in the king's court to hear a petition by some of his advisors. I did not miss the pleased expression of King Darius as he considered the glory that the decree would confer upon him. Pride and vanity caused his eyes to be blinded to the reason behind the decree, and with a satisfied expression he signed the writing into law, and I could plainly see the smug glance exchanged between the princes when the decree was endorsed by the king. I understood what it meant, and I understood what the law meant for Daniel. There was nothing to prevent me from speaking to Daniel to warn him of the newly passed law, an idea which was met with approval by my son, who began to drag me out of the palace to go see Daniel immediately. As it happened, we encountered Daniel in the street near his house, and he greeted me with a smile as his eyes lit upon me.
Daniel, you have to go away because King might annul you. You cannot pray to God anymore. It's okay. God will help us. Don't worry. Even if I die, I will still pray and worship God. Our sure. May your God protect you. Bye-bye. Bye.
It was about that time that the 2 princes, Artabazus and Mazaeus, came around the corner and positioned themselves on the other side of the street, watching Daniel's window with evil anticipation. Pulling my son back into the shadows of the wall once more, we watched as Daniel came to the window and knelt as usual to pray. seeing Daniel trespass against the law, the two conspirators hugged each other in happiness, smiling at their success. Early the next morning, the two princes were at the palace, ready to give their condemning report to the king.
Oh, king, live forever! Oh, king, you're so done at Princess Claus. Remember our law? He should be set to the lions then. Is this true? Leave me alone!
For the entire day, the king worked diligently to find some loophole in the law that would allow Daniel to escape the trap. But all of his interpreters of the law, searching through tomes of previous edicts and decrees, only confirmed what he already knew, that no decree nor statute which the king establisheth may be changed.
Yes, Daniel! Yes, king! Yes, king! You're going to eat you.
The sun had set by the time that we met at the entrance of the Den of Lions, which was just outside the palace prison. As the guard tied the rope around Daniel to lower him down, something usually not done, as prisoners were just thrown down the open entrance, the king spoke to Daniel words which were equally unusual.
May God save you. We will cover now, king. It's so heavy. Let's push together.
When the long night was finally over, we were at the mouth of the lion's den at sunrise, so as not to miss anything. The king was also just arriving, and we stood back as he anxiously made his way over to the sealed stone, impatiently motioning for it to be removed.
Open the den! Open the den! He said, Lion ate him. No, he's alive. Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes. Stop it! Stop it!
The heavy cover was barely out of the way before the king was leaning over it, crying out to Daniel piteously with his eyes closed, saying,
Oh, Daniel, are you saved? Oh, king, live forever. God sent the angels and closed the lion's mouth. They did not hurt me.
As a rope was hurriedly thrown down to Daniel, and he was brought up out of the pit, the king's face was beaming with happiness and joy. Gradually, however, the king began to lose his smile, and his face began to cloud with anger.
Guards, get them. Show them the lion's den. They lied to me. Yes, king. Oh, my king. Yeah, sorry. Do not do it again. Save us! Save us!
Speaking to his guard, he commanded that he should take some soldiers and bring those men which had accused Daniel, Artabazus and Mazaeus, and cast them into the den of lions. A short while later, as we had gathered in the throne room, the king placed a special medal around Daniel's neck that signified him as being his chief counselor, the highest honor in the kingdom.
Thank you for this honor, king. Yes. Write it down. We will visit God. You showed us a miracle. Write it down. We will visit God. Tell everyone, is that okay with you? Yes, king. Thank you.
Knowing Daniel's God, from what I had seen and heard, I had no doubt but that Daniel's testimony would live forever in God's own eternal book of remembrances, to encourage all people to be faithful throughout all time.